Meta-magic is all about understanding the foundational nature and structure of existence in order to hack the universe produced by base existence. Think of reality as a video game. Players in the game have the powers they are given or acquire within the game. But there is a much greater power, the code from which the game is made. The magician, in order to have power over the game world, must be able to access the base code, and thus have the means to alter any aspect of the game and its world and characters. Everything depends on accessing this deeper, more powerful reality. You have to transcend the game by breaking out of the game into the coding level. The coding level can directly change the game, whereas, if you are locked into the game, you can only do what the game allows you to do. The game does not provide you with the means to change the game. Access to the code behind the game means that you do have the capacity to change the game. The opening scenes of The Matrix are some of the best in movie history. Wikipedia says, at an abandoned hotel within a major city, a police squad corners a woman, later revealed as Trinity, who overpowers them with superhuman abilities. She flees, pursued by the police and a group of mysterious suited agents capable of similar superhuman feats. She answers a ringing public telephone and vanishes just before the agents crash a truck into the booth. Straight away, you know you are dealing with characters, magicians in effect, who are operating outside normality, outside all conventional parameters, and you know you are in for a hell of a ride. They have obviously worked out how to hack the code of the world they are in and become reality benders. According to science, the universe is made of matter. Science does not consider the possibility that matter is itself made of something. If the universe is made of matter and there's nothing beyond matter, then, by analogy with video games, there is nothing outside the video game, no level of code in which the game is written. So, nothing in the game universe can hack the game universe since there is nothing outside the game universe. But now imagine that matter is made of something more fundamental. This more fundamental thing is, by definition, not matter. This thing establishes the laws of matter, the laws that matter always obeys, but since it is not matter, it does not itself obey these laws. Rather, it obeys the more fundamental laws from which the laws of matter are derived and are a subset. In a video game, you establish the laws of the game via the underlying code. You can use the code, and its own laws, to completely redefine the laws of the game world, the derived world as opposed to the code world. You can subvert the laws of the game by hacking the game via the underlying code which can override those laws. That would be perceived as magical and miraculous. The movie The Matrix is much more reflective of reality than anything science tells us reality is. That is, the proper way to understand the universe is not as strictly a place of matter, with nothing other than matter, but as a place of matter, and also with a layer deeper than matter, which codes the material world. You don't get to the root of reality by studying matter, the stuff of the game world, but by studying whatever codes for matter, the stuff of the code world. But this, in itself, isn't in the game world, the world of matter. It's exactly that which can exist outside the material universe. It transcends the universe. It is immaterial and outside space and time. It is everything that matter is not, yet it is also everything that allows matter to be made, as a temporal and contingent expression of the eternal and necessary code. Science is useless for studying ultimate reality because ultimate reality is what produces the scientific universe. It's not the scientific universe itself. It's something other than scientific. In fact, it's mathematical. Mathematics is the cause of science. All of science is coded mathematically, which is of course why mathematics is essential to science and appears everywhere in science. Scientists are stuck studying the derived world, the constructed world, the game world. Their paradigm stops them from studying the real world underneath. Scientists are blue pill people. They are trapped studying the Matrix and believing that it's the sole reality. They don't believe there is anything outside the Matrix. It has never once occurred to them that there is a red pill world beyond. Their paradigm, that reality is all about observation and only the Matrix can be observed, literally excludes them from the truth. We would like any scientist on Earth, or in the Matrix for that matter, to prove that there is not an unobserved world outside the Matrix that is responsible for the Matrix. How could any scientist do so? The whole point of science is to reject what cannot be observed, while the whole point of the Matrix is for its residents to believe that there is nothing beyond it. In other words, science entirely obeys the agenda of the controllers of the Matrix. They can't conceive of a reality beyond the world they observe. To generalize this problem, can scientific materialism, which is based on sensory experimentation, disprove that there is a higher, deeper world which is not susceptible to sensory experimentation, just as the game code is not visible anywhere in the game world and is not accessible from anywhere in the game world? A scientist stuck in game world, experimenting on game world, can only ever know game world. It's literally impossible for scientists, given their paradigm and method, to work out that all the observable phenomena of game world give no access to the unobservable noumena code, which actually produce the phenomena. The guaranteed failure of science to explain ultimate reality is literally built into its paradigm. It stakes everything on ultimate reality being somehow observable and susceptible to man-made experiments. If this is false, and in fact there is no reason to believe it is true other than ideological and dogmatic scientific assertion, then science can never explain reality. Imagine scientists in the Matrix scoffing at the theory that a truer world exists outside the Matrix. They would insist that only what could be observed within the Matrix had any bearing on reality, and everything else was just nonsense, mere belief and mysticism. Earth's scientists are exactly the same as the deluded scientists of the Matrix. They simply cannot conceive, and ideologically deny, that anything can be outside the physical world. Rather than admit that something can exist outside the physical universe and create the physical universe, scientists literally say that the universe randomly jumped into existence out of non-existence, for no reason, via no mechanism, to no purpose. They find this a perfectly rational explanation even though it's not rational at all and is fact-logically impossible and a category error. If the scientists of the Matrix were asked to explain how the Matrix came to be, they would say exactly the same thing. It randomly came from nowhere. The idea that it was designed and created at a deeper level, a level that science could never access, is an idea that their paradigm forbids scientists from having, and so they don't have it. Just as Muslim clerics do not have non-Islamic thoughts. They are not permitted by their paradigm. Philosophically, the Matrix shows how flawed the ideology of empiricism, the ideology at the core of science, is and how absolutely opposed to rationalism it is. 99.99% of the people in the Matrix experienced the Matrix as true reality. But it wasn't. It was a wholly fake, constructed reality, a grand deception, a deliberate delusion. A rationalist, unlike an empiricist, could look at the Matrix, could experience the Matrix, and immediately conclude that he could not rely on what his senses and experiences were telling him about the Matrix. It's not as if scientists and empiricists are unaware of this. After all, this was the defining position of Descartes, the first modern philosopher, with his famous method of doubt. What he doubted above all was empiricism. Wikipedia says, in the first of his 1641 Meditations on First Philosophy, Descartes imagines that an evil demon, of utmost power and cunning has employed all his energies in order to deceive me. This evil demon is imagined to present a complete illusion of an external world, so that Descartes can say, I shall think that the sky, the air, the earth, colors, shapes, sounds and all external things are merely the delusions of dreams which he has devised to ensnare my judgment. I shall consider myself as not having hands or eyes, or flesh, or blood or senses, but as falsely believing that I have all these things. Prior to the meditations proper, Descartes gives a synopsis of each meditation and says of meditation 1 that reasons are provided which give us possible grounds for doubt about all things, especially material things, and that whilst the usefulness of such extensive doubt may not be immediately apparent, its greatest benefit lies in 1. Freeing us from all our preconceived opinions, and 2. Providing the easiest route by which the mind may be led away from the senses. The eventual result of this doubt is to make it impossible for us to have any further doubts about what we subsequently discover to be true. Descartes offers some standard reasons for doubting the reliability of the senses, culminating in the dream argument, and then extends this with the deceiving God argument. Scientists are those who have no doubts at all about material things, despite the fact that they can furnish no ontological and epistemological definition of matter, but instead doubt all rational and logical things, which they dismiss as mere abstractions, unreal and man-made, i.e., these scientific empiricists are the exact opposite of Cartesian rationalists. Descartes is famous for his cogito, I think, therefore I am. Virtually no one mentions his dubito, I doubt, therefore I am. In a posthumously published work, Descartes wrote dubito, ergo sum, vel, quod idem est, cogito, ergo sum, I doubt, therefore I am, or what is the same, I think, therefore I am. Descartes said nothing akin to, I experience the sensory world, therefore I am, and the sensory world is, which would be the defining mantra of empiricism. In fact, experience, especially sensory experience, the stuff of science, was exactly that to which Descartes most applied his method of doubt, and rightly so. People such as Descartes, rationalists, are capable of working out that they live in a matrix, even though they have no experiences to work on that would ever suggest such a thing. People such as scientists, empiricists, have no capacity to work out that they're in a matrix. Their entire position is, what you see is what you get, to be is to be perceived, nothing is in the intellect which was not first in the senses. They would not for 1 second have questioned or doubted the sensory phenomena of the matrix, and that means it would have proved impossible for them to imagine a reality outside the matrix. Scientists more or less say, fallaciously, absence of evidence is evidence of absence. So, if no one could produce sensory evidence that the matrix was a simulation of a world rather than a real world, no scientist would ever have imagined it was anything other than the real, and only, world. Any thought that the matrix was not real could not belong to science, since it would be outside the paradigm of science, and anything outside the paradigm of science is ipso facto not science. Science can never acknowledge even the possibility of a non-scientific reality. That wouldn't be science. No scientist can ever take a red pill. Scientists are strictly blue pill people. Scientists never apply the method of doubt to sensory things. Those are exactly what they don't doubt. Those are the irrefutable facts. That's why they are empiricists and materialists, and not rationalists and idealists. People never doubt what they have faith in. Science is just another faith that refuses to doubt itself. Wikipedia says, Descartes refers to the long-standing opinion that there is an omnipotent God who made me the kind of creature that I am, and suggests that this God may have brought it about that there is no earth, no sky, no extended thing, no shape, no size, no place, while at the same time ensuring that all these things appear to me to exist just as they do now. After the deceiving God argument, Descartes concludes that he is compelled to admit that there is not one of my former beliefs about which a doubt may not properly be raised. Descartes was willing to doubt everything. Scientists are not. They will not doubt their limited, fallible, unreliable, delusional human senses, even though these are as inherently dubious as it gets. The whole point of empiricism is not to doubt your experiences. New Ageism plays exactly the same game. All paths, all truths, everything is subjective and relative. Always believe your own experiences. There is nothing outside experience. Consciousness is experience. Everything is consciousness. Rationalism rejects all of this idiocy. It keeps doubting until it can find something it can't doubt. The only thing it can't doubt is mathematics. Mathematics is the only undoubtable truth. Morpheus in The Matrix says, what is the Matrix? Control. The Matrix is a computer-generated dream world, built to keep us under control in order to change a human being into this. He points to a battery for powering computers and machines. When the Matrix was first built, there was a man born inside who had the ability to change whatever he wanted, to remake the Matrix as he saw fit. It was he who freed the first of us, taught us the truth. As long as the Matrix exists, the human race will never be free. After he died, the Oracle prophesied his return, and that his coming would hail the destruction of the Matrix, end the war, bring freedom to our people. That is why there are those of us who have spent our entire lives searching the Matrix, looking for him. The special one who liberated humanity certainly wasn't a scientist. Scientists were those who opposed the special one and claimed that the Matrix was the only reality and that anyone who said anything different was a fantasist, or a religious nut, or hallucinating, or a lunatic. You are never part of the resistance if you support the scientific position. Why is magic possible? It's because we don't live in a scientific reality. Magic is absolutely impossible in a scientific materialist reality. But because there is something more foundational that matter, a deeper code, the material world can be hacked, just as Neo and Agent Smith could hack the Matrix because they could access the deeper reality. Relative to the conscious mind, the unconscious, especially the collective unconscious, is a deeper reality that can hack conscious reality via sigils, complexes, servitors, archetypes, egregores, godforms, and the like. Relative to life, the afterlife is a deeper reality and can hack life via contact with the spirit world. Relative to humans, angels and demons are a deeper reality and can hack humanity. Relative to the universe, God is a deeper reality and can hack the universe and everything in it. Relative to science, mathematics is a deeper reality and can hack science. Relative to matter, mind is a deeper reality and can hack matter. Every night, our dreams show us how easily our minds hack matter and sensory experience, i.e., our dreams prove that scientific materialist empiricism is false since we can produce supposed matter and sensory experiences in our dreams, yet our minds literally made them up from the internal resources of the mind. Magic is always about accessing deeper reality in order to hack shallower reality. Magic can proceed by numerous different paths, by all the different models of magic. Meta magic stands behind them all. Meta magic accesses the foundational, mathematical level of existence, where being and becoming, derived from being, equals thought. Because being and becoming equals thought, we can change temporal and contingent reality, becoming, just by thinking about it. We cannot change eternal and necessary reality, being, because this is exactly what thought is in itself. Thought cannot change what thought is. It can, however, change the products of thought, i.e., the things and phenomena of becoming. The more you understand the ontology and epistemology of thought, the more knowledge and understanding you have of thought and thinking, the more you know the laws of thought and thinking, the more you grasp that eternal and necessary basis thoughts, being, create temporal and contingent thought functions, becoming, i.e., you create complex thoughts by nothing more arduous than combining simple basis thoughts, the more you will be able to hack reality and be a sorcerer and magician. All you have to do is put your mind to it. Shazam!